Inventory is up 32% in Sonoma County and homes are flooding the market. So is now Sonoma County finally a buyer's market? Well, we'll discuss that, and we'll discuss some other interesting stats to see what this actually means for buyers and sellers as inventory does increase. Year over year, inventory is up 32% in Sonoma County, which sounds quite shocking. That's a third more homes for sale. But we need to look a little further to really understand what all this means. So in Sonoma County, right now, we're at 2.4 months of inventory available. Now that means that's based on an average sell-through cycle of how many homes are on the market versus how many homes are selling. Now, 2.4 may sound like a lot or it may not sound like much at all, but if I put into perspective that anything below 3 months of inventory is still considered a strong seller's market, it demonstrates that even with a 32% increase in home sales and inventory coming on the market, there is not enough inventory to have shifted it to a buyer's market yet. Now, if this continues, we could see that change. And if inventory continues to come on at that kind of increased rate, we could eventually see it shift to a buyer's market. But as of now, we are still seeing a lot of multiple offers and a strong market for sellers. And to put it in perspective, 32% is about 150 more homes for sale in Sonoma County than there were this time last year. Sonoma County is a relatively small market, so when we're saying 32%, we're not talking about thousands of homes, but 150 more. And that does help people as they sift through the inventory as they're looking to become homeowners. Now, aside from inventory, what's happened with prices? So home sales are actually up 3% in terms of number of homes, but more interestingly, the price per square foot is up 7%. So that does indicate that prices have still been rising, even with rising inventory over the last year. The percent to sale price to list price ratio has stayed about flat. It's still at 96%, which is a healthy number. That means if you listed a home at $1 million, the average sale price is $960,000. Again, on the lower priced homes, you see that ratio even higher, where homes sell closer to asking price. And as you get into the higher end market, over $4 million, you do see a greater reduction and more negotiation in that price. And the home value becomes a little more subjective with fewer comps and a lot more different features to take into consideration. The average price of a home has gone up that is listed. So an actively priced home, now average in Sonoma County, is over $2 million for the first time in history. It's $2,050,000 versus just under $2 million a year ago. So this does show that people are continuing to push the boundary on price as they list, and buyers are paying it as we're seeing an increase in home sales as well. However, that is the average list price. Now the average sale price is at $1,035,000, up significantly, almost 10% from last year's $950,000, but that does indicate that far more homes sell on the lower end of the market than the high end of the market. Just keep that in mind, that the average home price, while it be $2 million, does not mean that's all what is selling. Now it's all of the $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 homes that are selling quickly and bringing that average down. The homes over $2 million, there's more inventory and they seem to trade a little slower. And over $4 or $5 million, the market has slowed down quite a bit. So this is what brings that average down. Just a little bit of a fun fact, the most expensive home to sell so far this year in Sonoma County is 9679 Chalk Hill Road. It was 2 houses on 1 lot, without a lot of acreage or vineyard though. It was out in Chalk Hill. For you, those of you who are familiar, it's the east side of Healdsburg, kind of east of Windsor, north of Santa Rosa. Beautiful rolling hill setting. It sold for $8,250,000 with the original farmstead house that has been remodeled to maintain its historical charm, and then a more modern new construction house was on the property as well. So homes in that price range do still move, just not as quickly and not as often as the lower priced homes sub $1 million. So what does this all mean for the year ahead? Now, we've seen a couple interesting phenomenons this year and a couple things that I think relate to the trends that we're seeing and how the year will play out. So early in the year, David and I wrote on many homes that all had multiple offers. And that's unusual early in the year. In January, for example, that there's usually not as much competition because it's right after the holidays, we get a little bit of rain that time of year, but everything we wrote on had multiple offers. Buyers were out in full force and with a lot of enthusiasm and vigor. The rates coming down at the end of the year, beginning of this year, was part of that. And also we feel that there's been a bit of a pull forward. So generally, spring and summer are our hot markets and even into early fall. But with the election cycle and the election happening later this year, we do feel that there's been a bit of a pull forward where activity and buyers came out early and wanted to lock down something early in the year and have some certainty. And we expect that maybe things will slow down a little earlier this year as well as people wait to see what happens with the election as we head into the fall. Now that doesn't mean, anything is falling apart or the world, the sky is falling, the market's isn't necessarily going to crash. It just means that people like certainty, and so that people will typically wait through those few month period to see what happens before they jump back in the market, and we'll see buyers re-enter early 2025. Now, what that means though, if you're a buyer, is that you right now could be a good time to buy as more inventory comes on the market and we start to see potentially other buyers start to fall off towards the end of the year and say, I want to wait until 2025 with rates coming down and after the election. But as we always say, if you wait for everybody else to jump in, that just means more competition. So if you can find a home that you've been looking for or that fits your needs, we'd strongly encourage you to jump on it. We do believe the rates will be coming down, even if not this year, early next year, which will bring in a lot more competition. So it is highly advised that you buy before the rates come down because you will face far less competition if you can find a home that fits your needs within your budget. Now, sellers, remember, despite the sharp increase in listings and new homes coming on the market, it is statistically still a seller's market. No matter what people tell you, there is not enough inventory still statistically to support buyer demand. This still means we're seeing multiple offers for homes and homes are still selling quickly. It is critically important that you prep your home though, because people do want turnkey. They don't want to have to come and do lots of remodeling, or they don't want to have to do a lot of their own investigations. The homes we're seeing sell the quickest are the homes that have inspections done and have been prepped correctly so that a buyer can move right in and not have to worry about things, because it does give a buyer some certainty in uncertain times. So it is still a great time to sell, and we believe it will continue to be a great time to sell as we head through summer right now and maybe even into fall. Granted, as we head into winter, there is less buyers that are out, but we could also see less listings coming on. So if you do have questions, feel free to reach out to us about what it's looking like today. The market shifts continuously, and it's our job to stay on top of things and how things are moving. So if you made it to this point in the video, there's a pretty good chance that you're thinking about buying or selling a home or investing in the area. Regardless of what your goal is in Sonoma County, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. Just email me at Jonathan, Jonathan, @brewingtonhargreaves.com, or reach out to us through the link below and we'd be happy to chat. We're actually the #1 Sonoma County real estate team with over 71 families helped last year and over 80 million in volume. That's homes bought and sold. So we're happy to help, whether you want a first home, second home, vacation home, or just want more information on the area. We're here to help and provide access to all of those resources for you. We have lots of videos giving updates on the area, information about new construction, luxury developments, and lots of guides on how to navigate this ever-changing market. And hey, before you go, if you liked this video, you'll love some of our others. So everything you need to know about moving before you move to Sonoma County, you can find here, and we'll break it down from A to Z.